Alright, so today's video is part of the Build a Better Backswing series, and in hindsight, I probably should have started with this video, which is going to be about the knees in the backswing, rather than what I did, which was hips and shoulders. So if you haven't seen the hips and shoulders video, you can go watch that first. If not, if you watch this first, you'll be in good shape as well. So there'll be links to the other one below in this blog post, so no worries there. Um, so with gears here, we can put on some visuals and get some moving numbers as we take these swings back. And you can see here we've got five parameters here basically that are being measured. And we're just taking a look at the knees here. So the one that says KN here, it's an abbreviation for the knees. And right there it says 1.4 degrees. So that's our starting point. This is a dress, and it's kind of cool to look at from this bottom view, and then we'll look at it from a couple other views as well. So 1.4 degrees basically means that the knees are 1.4 degrees kind of open at a dress, and players have lots of little ways that they kind of kickstart the swing in like a Henrik Stenson knee action. Jordan Spieth has a little knee action there. There's some different things here. So this knee stance line, this amount of degrees before the club actually gets moving or starts taking away, can kind of shuffle and change a little bit. So that's just a variable or a personal preference on how to get the swing started. So we're going to take a look at this and see how it goes back into the backswing. So you can see we're taking the club away. You can see I don't have a club head on here, but the shaft is moving. And now this knee number is going negative. So that means that it's turning back in this swing. So you can see the knees are moving. We're at 9 degrees, 11 degrees. And as we get to the mid backswing point here, mid backswing on gears, if we look at face on, is excuse me, when the shaft is parallel to the ground. So if we go back to the below view here, so this is the shaft parallel to the ground in the backswing, or position 2, P2, for those that are familiar with that. And we have 18 degrees of knee action at this point in the swing. So to get that, the left knee, which was bent 26 degrees at address, has bent more, so it's flexed more. So one reason, or the main reason in my opinion, why this line that's going through the knees actually moves or turns back in this position, 18 degrees by the time the shaft's parallel to the ground, is because of the flexion of the left knee. So at address, let's go to this position. This left knee at address was 26 degrees according to the measurement. So by position 2 here, the left knee is now 40 degrees. So it increased in its flex 14 degrees in that little bit of time frame. So when we look from the down the line view, you can see how this line on the knees starts moving. So let's go back to address, pretty square, and as we go, there's 14 degrees of increase in flex, and the right knee that started at 27 degrees has straightened to 25 degrees. So simultaneous action of the left knee flexing, the right knee straightening to this P2 position is what is helping move this knee line. So once again, here's the knee movement, 18.1 degrees. So let's keep going here. We're going to go to left arm parallel to the ground. So let's just check what this position looks like. A little bit longer I need to go. Right about there is good. So if we go and take a look from below again, the knees now, here's the knee line, are at 28.3 degrees of turning. So you can see the hips are at 36 at this point. The shoulders are almost 90. The shoulders are at 80. So, let's just say in a perfect world that all three of these, shoulders, hips, knees, were all at 0 to start with, which isn't the way golf is played, but it's easier to model and look at it this way. So you can see how the rates of change are different throughout these pieces. So the knees are at 28, the hips are at 36, and the shoulders are at 80. So the shoulders have to do a lot faster turning to this point in the swing to get that much out of it compared to what the knees are doing. So, like I said, knees are at 28. By this point in the swing, the left knee has increased its flex more, so it's gone to 47 degrees. So remember, it started at 26, so it's almost flexed 20 degrees more than when it was started. And the right knee at this point, already by P3, is back to 26. So it started at 27, went to 25, and it's roughly in the 26 and a half range here. So it's already, the right knee is already stabilizing as the left knee continues to flex. So what this looks like from kind of down the line is this knee stance line here is changed even more. And notice how, at least from this camera view, we can start to see a little bit of space in between the knees. I talk about that with my players a lot. I like to see some space appearing there. It means that the left knee is flexing, the right knee is straightened some, and the knees are doing some turning as they go back. So that's by arm parallel to the ground. Let's go to the top and kind of finish this off. So here's our top position. You can see the space between the knees has increased even more. Let's go from below and check this number out. So we've got knees at 32 degrees here. So we went from basically square, from 18 to 28 to 32, so they're starting to slow down a little bit in how much that turn is happening, because we're, at this point we're starting to almost reflex the right knee, as now it's at 29 degrees, started at 27, went to 25 by position 2, and now is almost back to 30. So it's starting to reflex. So we're in this transitional phase of starting down. But as we look at this, knees have turned 32, hips have turned 45. And this is a big shoulder action in this one. This is a 7-iron. This is 109. I talked about 90 as kind of a minimum that I like to see with all my players with a 7-iron in the other video. So I'll go ahead and do a little drill and kind of a recap video on this in the studio in the upcoming days, so you can kind of see how this works and how you can measure it out yourself. So once again, you can kind of see how these knees move, and these different body lines move at different rates up to the top of the backswing. So putting this together with my previous videos, hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, as always, leave them below, and I will talk to you guys soon.